didn't have it. Hi, guys. It's Ona, Dr. Vicky. Today is Saturday, November 16, 2024. The Six Sisters Live. We're going to talk about the moon and the week and maybe the reason we chose this timeline.
I don't know if we got any further on that when we were discussing it, but we were open.
Yes. Yes. Like you said, it feels like everybody tells you choose your starting points. We're telling you we pick these timelines to dip in and out of. And I was saying out loud to myself, I don't think I signed up for this timeline. Like, can I review that contract again? Because everything is so surreal right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Antoinette's granddaughter said, can we skip to another timeline? Yeah, I think we need to build some kind of copper machine or something. It has been that challenging that I'm like, no, I think I signed up for the wrong thing right here. But we still have time, right?
Yeah.
We've got to remember we still have time, and we still have to apply all those things that we knew that were fact before this little, explosion. And it will, and it's going to, and it's about to settle. Vicky, tell us about the woodpecker symbolism.
So on the morning of the full moon, I went out, and I usually pay attention to the first thing I see in the morning, and it happened to be a woodpecker pecking on the apple tree. And so I've had that before. Woodpecker is actually there's Native American astrology, and woodpecker is the cancer, the symbol for cancer. So there's that. I used to have my sign out with my name on it and my telephone number, and the woodpeckers like 2 years ago destroyed it, like put like a big hole in it, and so we took it down to fix it, and we haven't really gotten around to fixing it because Michael has put Bondo on it. It's a big process, I guess. And but for some reason, I feel like maybe the woodpeckers wanted me to lay low as far as advertising exactly where I lived for some reason. Like you'd have to just not pass the house and see my telephone number on the sign, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But I'll read what the woodpecker says because I think this is something I always listen to the messages that Mother Nature gives me. So, and she's rarely, if I've gotten out of more tickets by knowing that there was a copperhead by watching the crows than I can appreciate.
See?
So woodpecker wisdom includes connection to the earth, the ability to find hidden layers, understands rhythm, cycles, and patterns. It is a warning, a prophecy associated with thunder. The earth's drummer, known as the earth's drummer, pecks away at deception until the truth is revealed. And I took solace in that, especially in that last one.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. And it has been a bird highlighted. I guess we're just getting closer to where it's going to get cold enough that they need to ensure they have a nice warm space and enough food.
Right.
There seems to be a lot of bird activity going on everywhere. I was just saying I can't light up the house too much because birds get distracted and they slam into buildings. And we actually have a bird collision foundation where they flock right into the windows. And this is new to me. So I try to be careful about lighting, stuff like that. It's that time of year.
So I thought we could pull a card. I mean, I could pull a Mystic Sister Oracle card to see what the Oracle has advice for us for this week ahead.
I'm going to do Salvador Dali.
Okay.
You know, it's a surreal timeline, so let's just go for it, right?
All right.
I have to tell you guys, it has been smelling like and I think I'm gonna, this will be attached to the feeling, and the smell is Indiana or fuel or that kind of thing. And it could be just Saturn's influence of going direct. It's kind of a little sulfuric note in there, or it's a thing to ground yourself. Like, this is a time you really need to focus on grounding for some reason.
Yeah.
That might be that attachment.
So I selected Aphrodite, the mighty Aphrodite. Oh, see if I can get there. That's better. Passion, beauty, and desire. The goddess Aphrodite bodes well for your direct experience of love, charm, and your eye for beauty. Aphrodite enhances awareness of your personal aesthetic pleasures. She heightens a desire for love, whether it be between you and your partner, or perhaps an increase of love in your heart towards yourself and everything you delight in. To be in the right space to experience the gifts of Aphrodite, it is necessary to be fully present in the moment, and you must believe that you are truly worthy of love. Drawing this card is a call to open your heart, forgive transgressions by yourself and your loved ones, and to position yourself to give and receive love more fully.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think, Paul, let me see if I can go back. Said, weren't we supposed to be celebrating by now? Yes, we're celebrating that we made it through the week and we kept it together.
No, honestly and truly, Paula, I have gone out every morning and looked at the sun coming up over the office, or seeing the sky rose up, and just being so grateful and feeling so lucky to be alive in this moment. There is so much beauty around us.
Yeah.
And I think we have to celebrate in those moments, those moments that bring the big moments forward. And I think it's important. We're kind of a week out of this nightmare scenario, but I still, there's a part of me that wants to prepare in case this is the way it's going to be. So I'm preparing myself for that, but I'm not losing the vision of the possibility of something different. I'm not losing hope, and it's a moment by moment experience, really, at this point. That's me, though. So.
I pulled from the Dolly deck the Queen and the King of Pentacles both popped up at the same time.
Wow.
Very Saturn influencey there with the Pentacles, right?
Well, and Venus is square the notes today, and she's in Capricorn, Earth. So that kind of
it looks like the Capricorn devil there is trying to lift her hat off or her hair back, trying to make her listen.
Don't listen to the devil, ladies.
Don't listen to the devil.
Don't let anything take you away from your light.
Yes, exactly. And if you have to enter that space for a little bit, recognize, like, I'm not in a good space right now. I need to, like, step out of this. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be like, the one that complains about everything. Step out of that space, recognize that you're there. That's all right to dip in.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah.
I think you have to. That's why I think it's important to just let in what you really want to know about instead of what's going on, because what's going on is crazy, and you don't want to bring crazy in.
Yeah.
We're talking about the chaos masters here, and if we can we can focus our intention on what we want to bring forth at this time, we can take all that energy that's created through the chaos and
Yeah.
channel it instead of channeling into the fear of this is going to happen and that's going to happen and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. We
Mhm.
don't know if it's going to happen. They're telling us that that's what's going to happen, but they've told us things before and they haven't happened. So I'm
Yeah.
just taking all timelines sort of
Yep.
see which way we're gonna get on. It's helped me to keep sane. Plus, I've been
Yeah.
real busy this week with new clients, and I'm meeting some of the most phenomenal people. I just love,
Oh God, that's so cool. That
yeah,
is so cool. It's definitely a time we need to like register in as much light as possible. And I don't know what the exact statistic is, but I think like 89% of the time you worry about things that are never going to happen.
right.
So I'm gonna lean into that because I can't believe that this is actually gonna like manifest. It's like the worst B movie
Oh my God.
imaginable.
It's
So
like a farce. It's not even like a real movie.
yeah,
It's just like buffoons and criminals, and we're just like, hey, check it out.
I don't even know who to call
And then when
in.
he gets in, and he's going to get this person and that person and this person,
It's
and it's just I don't know, beyond the pale, I guess is the
it's not really doable. And then I mentioned, I think on Tuesday night, astrology said these people need to be vetted. Like they need to be vetted before they need security. And today I hear, oh no, we're not going to vet you. We're good. We'll hire somebody to do a little background check.
yeah. I forget who they were going to hire, like private detectives or something, like
And
Camp
it's so,
Spade or
yeah,
something.
it just adds to this, like, come on. It's so, you can't trust that you're going to get away with this.
No, they need to be vetted by the government agents that do that for a living. Period. End of story. And if they don't do it, they shouldn't let them in the door. Period. End of story.
Right.
It's one thing to get the power and break the law. He's breaking the law before he gets the power. It's in and then when he gets the power, he's going to get better. I mean, what? Hello, people.
You know what? Geraldine asked a really good question. What exactly are timelines? When we talk about, I'm going to show the comment. And this is a really neat kind of thing to explore and go into. Timelines are segments of memory files.
Yeah.
Vicky, you go. And then we go into
As I understand it, like no one's ever technically told me what a timeline is, but I feel like a timeline is a line of consciousness. It's a line of consciousness that is in a way connected to us, and connected to the history of our I guess civilization that
yeah.
so there are, like, I remember commenting to Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot that the when during the when we Russia first went into Ukraine, and then Ukraine was fighting back. I felt like we were having World War One all over again. Like there's something about that war that came again, and it's like
Yeah.
almost like we're fighting every war we've ever fought, like all at once in some sort of strange way. But it's like these themes that just
Yeah. That is so my understanding, it would be you've got this like these segments of memories and they're between dates, they're between lifetimes, where when you recall that same consciousness or that same feeling, like this feels like it did 12 years ago, that's like a gin particle. That's something that circulates through all the timelines to help you recognize timelines. And it's consistent throughout. So we've all generated this same effect. before. And in astrology, aren't we comparing it to other periods in time when we can kind of understand why things occurred or how things might occur and how to adjust to them?
Right. Have a clue. I mean, we have Pluto moving into Aquarius. Sorry, don't get scared, everybody. Aquarius next week. I went right back to Aries. Um, and this is a time in history when the people rose up against the elite. And we just had a presidential election dictated by the elite. And but Pluto was still in Capricorn at that time. So once Pluto goes into um, Aquarius,
Next week.
it's a different game. The energy shifts and changes, and it's less about the hierarchy and above down, and much more about sort of tribal community, and trying to like have each sort of group of people have their thing, so to speak, or their perspective, and that all perspectives need to be looked at some point. Luckily, we have 20 years to do it, and probably AI, which will help.
This is going to occur on Tuesday the 19th, 3:29 Eastern Time, 2:29 Central. Pluto's going into Aquarius. Saturn just went direct. The full moon has been super cool. Right? So we are ready to adjust ourselves to these kinds of changes because we register as much light as possible.
Yeah.
And you guys, everybody does too. So I'm gonna light a candle that day. It's a Queen of Cups day numerologically, so that'll be interesting.
Today is what's today? Today's a 9 of Wands day, right?
Today is a 9 of Wands day. Yeah, that's interesting. I've been kind of doing candles and incense all day kind of thing.
Yeah, because it smells like Indiana in your apartment.
Guys, no offense. Some of Indiana is gorgeous, but you all know that you cross the border and you can get weed and an abortion, right? Like you don't have to stay there. You choose to stay there. We're right here. But the area of Indiana that comes up is because the steel mills use the lake.
Yeah.
To get raw ore and to deliver and to cool the steel and all that stuff. So it emits a lot of gas.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in New Jersey, so I know all about how different areas kind of. I grew up in industrial New Jersey. There's parts of New Jersey again that are just gorgeous.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in a gorgeous area. It was very, very working class, very 3-story kind of houses stuff.
Yeah.
It was good. I had a great family, so it was a great experience, but not the prettiest of places.
Yeah. And you know what, Vicky? Even some pretty places can smell. When I lived in Tennessee, there was a town north of us. I think it's Kingston or Kingford, and it was right by a chemical plant.
Oh, yeah.
Dow, I think, was there, and the mountains are beautiful, and there's beautiful big park, and there's always parking. It smelled so nasty.
Yeah.
It smelled so nasty, and they use the river for the same things, right? Yeah. To export and to definitely pour waste into.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say anything about what could happen. You know what I mean? We're not going to focus on that.
It already has happened. They had like a very, very high incidence per capita of thyroid cancer in like half of the United States. I mean, it already did have problems. Yeah.
Well, man doesn't think very far ahead, and what are they? Robs the future. Robs the future. So we
You
have to
know,
we have to live differently.
we do, and we don't always know what's going to harm us too. We don't know that a certain insulation was going to be harmful to our respiratory system until we saw a pattern of people getting sick, and then they had to pull all the asbestos out of the buildings. We don't always know what's going to harm us. I hope we have a better grasp on it.
That's optimistic, but okay.
We're always trying to outdo ourselves that way.
Oh,
He says the pH in the oceans have been changing, harming the oysters. I think you meant not 3 oysters, but the oysters. Yeah, it all makes sense. Yeah. And the ones that survive are the ones that are going to adapt and breed and, carry it on. And the ones that didn't weren't strong enough to. Right.
I think though that, well, it seems to me like everything I can say could be an absolute opposite of what 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 could happen, because it just depends, But I mean, I think the technology is there to help us do much more of the cleanup, but of course there has to be a reason to clean it up, like a rule. So here's to rules.
Yeah.
Here's to the EPA. Yay.
Well, Saturn's direct now and in Pisces. So hopefully some of this mess in the water is getting, addressed. Dreamweaver has a question if you want to go here. I'm going to put it up. I'm going to show it. Will anything important come from Biden's trip to Peru and Brazil? I didn't even know he was going, so I appreciate finding out.
I believe it was a climate thing, wasn't it? It's a climate thing.
I don't know if I could believe anything that's going on in terms of what they're telling us right now. I don't know why this is so much more important if he's going now or if he's there now than anything that's going on right now in his own backyard.
Well, it may just be a thing that, it might be something about bricks or something like that. I don't know. Let's see. Will anything important come from? Oh, okay, yeah. Looks good.
You got something?
Yeah, good cards. I got the Knight of Swords flying through the air. That's him. Whoop, taking a quick jaunt down to South America. And I got the Temperance card, which is balance and healing. And then the Six of Cups, which is about the past. So I don't know, maybe some I know that, like, is it D'Souza in Lulu down in Brazil? Is pretty progressive, very much a what do you call it, for the environmentalist.
Oh,
Good, I'm fine. So it seems like and then I know there, because he's part of BRICS, there might have been some bad blood. It looks like maybe that got resolved. That's what I see in the cards. So
when is he going? If somebody knows when he's going, post it in the comment section, because it doesn't look like it's good here. I get a lot of bad cards. I just pulled 4. Is anything going to happen? I get 10 of Swords, so this might be the overwhelming loss. I don't know. And then the 8 of Cups. So maybe doesn't like what's being presented, or they don't like what's being presented. It looks like Jesus is a vegetarian, and they put a little pot roast in front of him there. And he's like, nope, not going to work. I get the star card. And then the tower.
I think they're terrified that Trump won the election.
Absolutely 100% are like, Joe, what are we going to do, Joe?
Yeah.
This is the exact feeling I got.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dreamweaver. I'll try and follow maybe that story because I don't like that he's out of town to begin with. So why would you do that? So I'm hoping that we, like we said last week, that there is some kind of plan that really for the protection of the safety of the people, they really can't disclose what they're really doing. I want to have that much trust in what's left over because it really let me down, and hope that intelligence and security and cybersecurity and anything that got destroyed can be re-engineered in some way so that even if Kamala said, yeah, I don't think I want this job.
Yeah.
At least we know what really happened. And I would respect her for that. If she said, nah, you know what? Fight me.
I don't think she would, though.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't think she would. I just think it's almost beyond my imaginings that the Democrats would, in some way, or a law would actually work, or I mean, you think about like one of the lessons from this is that he is in fact above the law. That's the lesson.
Well, I don't like that lesson.
I know. I'm not saying that's the final lesson, but that's kind of where it's going. And how do we teach our children about being good citizens if we have a felon as president? You know what I mean? So
what we tell them?
This out.
We tell them we just watch and see, because anything that is built on a corrupt platform, if your posts aren't aligned on your house, it's designed to fail. It's designed to. So if we're building this on a corrupt platform, which it so clearly is, it is designed to fail. And we have to teach them, you know what? Watch. Watch what happens now. Watch what happens now. It's already just sloppy seconds. I mean, some of the people he's trying to recruit are like, they couldn't get a job at McDonald's here if they did background checks on some of these people. Come on.
I mean, the only, if this is the way that it's going to go, at least we know that everybody who works for him ends up in jail. So that's okay. Eventually, not him, but everybody, they lose their license. They're what do you call it?
Watch him reinstate Rudy Giuliani next week.
Oh no, I think that Rudy Giuliani he's still trying to scrape Rudy off his shoe. Honestly,
I think he's going to do that with a lot of people because there's just no way that he can negotiate all of this stuff. I mean, who did the puppy killers in this cabinet too, right? What is she like?
Oh yeah. Homeland Security.
Of course she is.
She's shooting the dogs.
That kind of like, bitch, I could stare at you long enough and knock you down. You see her? Oh, come on. That is ridiculous. These people are ridiculous. It's just a clown show. And I'm insulted that they think we're just going to go for it. And, we're all wrong about everything. Nope. See, I got mad. I went mad. So I'm not worried. I know it's designed to fail. I know it is. That's how those things are.
As governor, she met with foreign leaders for suspicious reasons. I think she's talking about Christine Nome. Mind blowing, yeah.
Yeah, everything is suspicious with them. They can't do anything. Everything they do, we see as wrong. Everything's wrong. They can't.
Well, I think that's what their people saw with, like, before the election. I was sort of I was like just checking Facebook just to see where everybody was at, and you know, there are people I know going, "Oh, it's finally the like the last 4 years have been the most horrible years of their lives." Where do they live? I mean, I don't does it, and is it Joe Biden? And if the last 4 years were the most horrible years of your life, was it Joe Biden's fault? I mean, or was it you? I mean, like what's up there? What's up, Buttercup? I don't
Like,
know.
did you forget COVID? Which is a great example of a timeline.
Yeah.
That's a great example of a timeline. If you're still there, out there is pre-COVID, post-COVID, and COVID is a timeline.
Right.
And the feeling you get when you think, oh no, you hear epidemic or something, that's a Jinn particle. That's like, yep, coming up to stay with you for a while. You know what I want to pull a card on, if you want to pull a card?
Sure.
How does Liz Cheney feel right now? Jinn, like Jinn, divergent moon. A Jinn effect or a Jinn particle is the feeling. How does Miss Liz feel? Interesting.
Are you? Yeah, I'm going to pick 3 cards. They're interesting coming up.
Jamie's got it. It's DJINN. That's what it is. I forgot the D. What did you get?
I got the 2 of Pentacles, which is called change in this deck, and then the 2 of Wands, so 2 2s, Dominion in this deck, and then the Princess of Discs, which says to me she's up, a seed is being planted. I feel like there's some sort of, because they're two twos, that there's some sort of coalition forming. I think I think she knew that it was a bit of a long shot for Kamala to be able to win because of the situation and because of the anti-incumbent tendency at this point, because we have Pluto in Aquarius. I think she's making relationships and starting something new, maybe a new Republican Party or something like that, because there's the Democrats and there's MAGA. And the Democrats are, you know, kind of devastated because they didn't stick with the stuff that got them there, you know. But they do that a lot. They try to appease Republicans, and they be like Republicans, and then they take on the Republican talking points, and then they lose. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This could
Tell
be
us more information.
the 22 stuck out for me, and that's on Friday. And it is an Ace of Cups day, and that is one of the cards I pulled. So we might hear from her on Friday or around Friday. That is the last card I pulled, was the Ace of Cups. And it's really weird. I got 3 of Cups in the beginning, like celebrating. There's something that she might know, and she is, and then I get the 8 of Swords. So the 8 of Swords to me is temperance, kind of like she can't do anything right now.
Yeah.
Can't do anything right now. It's like the patient temperance, kind of tied up, like she's just in that way. And then I get Knight of Swords. So something like she's gonna get fired or some shit, right? She's gonna get fired or something. And then the Ace of Cups, or there's a relief, or there is like something new, cutting herself off from that, and Ace of Cups starting to be more in that party, but in a different mindset. It might be a third party thing. This might be a third party thing where it's Republicans, MAGA, and Democrat.
Right. And then I think the Democrats will go be Democrat. I think they may split into Democrats, centrists, and progressives.
We've been fighting each other on that one for a while, right?
Oh yeah. Except that most of the things that people want are progressive. If you ask people what they would like, it's mostly progressive policies, and they want to feel safe. So it's border issues and crime issues. But if people have their needs met, they don't have crime. One of the reasons that we had less crime, I think, during COVID, well, we were not exposed to each other as much, but people were being helped. People weren't in desperate situations. I know so, I mean, what are we going to do? Right? What are we going to do? We're going to live on every day.
I'll tell you though, I did, and I told you this on Tuesday. I went to my aunt's wake, and there was an Army recruitment center near there, and I was in traffic, and I'm looking, and I'm in the parking lot also trying to find a parking space, and there's just a huge line of immigrants. This was clear to me. I see them all the time. They're right on the street. And it just hit me like, this is how they're going. This is the antidote for not getting deported.
Yeah.
For them. This is how scared they are. I used to live near that area. I've never seen anything like that outside that building. I think right by Produce World. And I was there a lot.
I think when Trump was president, there was a guy from Mexico who actually served in, I think, Afghanistan and maybe Iraq as well. And they sent him back to Mexico after he served in when you serve for your country, you automatically become a citizen. And they sent him back to Mexico. And I think he lived here for like 30 years. He had come to America when he was a little kid, I think.
Oh my gosh. They're still talking about gins, the gin particles. Yeah. It's, what they're getting. Actually, it's getting some scientific backup too. We're going to be able to actually, I think with especially Pluto and Aquarius, but then next year Uranus is moving into Gemini.
Yeah.
That a lot of these things that we all talk about, all these synesthetic responses to things, all these spirits, aliens are popular right now because there was a congressional hearing about it, are going to be more and more accessible. And they're going to get more science research done, like real research. I can't wait.
I'm a yeah. I'm a bit concerned about where we're going. Um, so I don't know. Like I
Yeah, I know. I understand. I understand the feeling. You're like, this can go like in bad directions. Like there's some, you know, we can start messing with genes and programming and stuff like that. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Divergence says you do not automatically become a citizen, but you have to apply, and they give it to you then. Or traditionally, I guess they could add insult to injury, right? And it's still,
Yeah, right.
it depends on who's in charge.
Yeah.
I know they're having a heart attack because of the Tulsi's being put in charge of some intelligence department, and a lot of people think she's a shill for Putin. I know she's an anti-war candidate. I know that, and that I don't know. I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for Tulsi,
Yeah.
but I don't think she did herself any favors. Although, in my estimation, I don't think she did any favors. But she could be the head of a big, a cabinet position. That's success, right? That's success. Just because I don't agree with her.
Yeah. I think honestly that that's going to be challenged because I don't think that, and confirm if she not just speaking to Putin, or there was some kind of Putin connection that's starting to get floated around, that she's been,
Well, she went to talk to Assad. I remember when she did that. She went to talk to Assad. But she seems to. I don't know. She's got an interesting chart. She's got three planets in Aries, and they're all opposite Pluto in Pisces. Not Pisces. Libra. She has a very, very powerful chart, but it is also the chart of somebody who's a true believer, and it depends on what she believes as to whether that's good or not. And
yeah,
it's a little bit too uh, Kool-Aid for me.
yeah,
Like she has a thing and she's got a vision and it's her vision, but there's always the danger of narcissism with that. And as we know how that's been working out, it seems to me that most wars are based on some narcissist thinking that they know better than everybody else. But I'm not a student of history. I'm no Heather Cox Richardson, I'll tell you. Although if you haven't listened to her, she'll make you feel better. She did a really good show with what's his name? The guy from the Daily Show, Jon Stewart.
oh, I saw part of it. It's really long.
It is, well, she's a
Yeah,
historian, so she gives you the. Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's about an hour, but it's definitely any hour that informs you and makes you calmer about your situation. I think it's a good hour to spend.
That's true. That's true.
Instead of rage scrolling on Facebook and cursing at guests.
You know what?
It's-
I'm not removing myself from that. When I learn a couple things, I'm like, how could this be? And you know, and how can I let myself react that way? It doesn't make it better. It just gets you banished.
Well, I mean, I sound so high and mighty, but I poked the bear. The other day I said I went on Facebook. I said I made two comments on Facebook. The first one was that we elected a, a, a an adjudicated rapist,
That's right.
and the second one was I guess you need a criminal record before you can apply to these cabinet positions. And I didn't read, and then there was a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't read any of it. Just poking the bear, just getting conversations, started and
Oh
running
my
away.
God.
I shouldn't do that. I don't think I do it anyway.
Let's pull another card. Let's pull another card. How is the landscape going to change next week? Just 1 week. How
Okay.
is the political landscape going to change next week?
Okay. That's
Because
a,
this is a big, Aquarius, and really Saturn is station direct. It went direct, right? It's direct.
yeah. It went direct right before the full moon.
And it's post a full moon, which was, and she's out there a little bit behind the clouds right now.
Well, and today is the sun opposing Uranus. So this is the day of awakening. This is when, that opposition brings awareness, and Uranus is sudden things. Oh boy.
What?
You want to go first?
I'll go. I'm just pulled one card, just like if I could just float on this bubble. It's the Eight of Cups. So there's something disappointing.
Yeah. You're going to pick any more?
Doesn't get better, girl. Well, it's the six of swords.
Well, that's not bad.
That's not bad. It's like kind of moving on sort of energy, right? And then two from the bottom, just two from the bottom. The Knight of Swords and the Hangman. It's the second time the Knight of Swords came up. The Hangman was on the bottom.
That might be, you know what that looks like to me? That looks like Gates not allowed to be given the nomination for.
Look like him.
But I don't know if that happens now or not. Is that what happens now?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, just the week. Just like, how's the landscape going to change next week? We're kind of like suspended after a little more emotional stuff, but there is just getting along, just getting by, and then putting on a new perspective.
I got cruelty. So these are 9 dripping swords, dripping blood. One of the things that came to me after I heard that Trump had won was, I thought to myself, look at these Mamelukes. They won, and they're still going to be violence. They're still going to go out, and because I think they were waiting for to have a reason to fight, and now there's no real reason. I think they're still going to do stuff to each other. The Strength card, this is called Lust in this deck. Prudence. So I feel like they're still counting votes. The Star, which is the Democracy card, this card of hope, and then the Devil right next to it. Green. So I think this week we're still in the throes of the Devil energy. I don't think we've extricated ourselves from that yet.
When is this jail hearing? It's in November, right? Around Thanksgiving? Oh my God.
I don't know what can he do? He'll say, you were guilty. It was before you were president, but now that you're president, we'll just delay whenever you have to, whatever it is. So say he fines him like $100,000. He doesn't have to pay it till he's not president anymore, something like that. Maybe something like that. But I don't know. I don't know anything about it, really, the legal part of it, or what really because there's been some things. The thing that really gets in my craw is the Jack Smith stuff.
I know.
I shouldn't say what I want to do to the Supreme Court, because then they'd come after me for saying something like that.
This is what makes me think of this, that needed to be scrapped because something more important is requiring the attention right now.
Well, I think it has something to do with, he has to give a final report, and I think he wants to give it to Merrick Garland instead of giving it to whoever the AG is for Trump, because then he'll just tear it up.
Right, like the last one.
Yeah.
like Bill Barr.
Although Bill Barr was a smart guy, Matt Gaetz is not a smart guy.
Right, that's true. If he even like, they're just, is this just like stall techniques until January and then it's just a big free for all? Like, it doesn't even make sense to me.
Well,
I just want to be ignorant of all of it sometimes.
I'm doing a good job of that
Right?
because I've pretty much ignored it all week. What are you gonna do? I
Yeah,
mean, I would rather focus on what I want to see and put energy into that instead of hear what they're telling me. And maybe that's illusion, delusion, and all that stuff, but it's my delusion, and I can sleep at night, and I need to sleep at night. So
right.
me worrying about it isn't going to make it better. Me being proactive and doing the best I can with what I have, I think is all we can really ask people to do.
Very
And
true.
send energy to the people who need it. I've been sort of like feeling out, um, just feeling the energy as you do.
Yeah,
And I haven't really felt Kamala. I just started feeling her again now. I felt like that she feels a little more present, but for a while there, I felt like she disappeared.
yeah, yeah. I'm hoping she's busy. And I want to recognize that I notice everybody's fractured. At work, I see it, and the patients definitely see that um, there's just a brokenness there going on. And it's not just the patients, you see it in the staff. I see it in the people on the bus. Like, I couldn't even take a bus home on Friday afternoon because it was so overwhelming. There's just a brokenness feeling going on. So it's going to repair.
Sharon says that Jamie Raskin is planning on challenging Trump to take office. What I'm going to tell you is a little something that happened to me today. I love Cash Peters, right? He did a good one, guys. You should. I'm sure most of you have already seen it because you guys are Cash fans as well. But he did one, I think, today that was really very interesting. And he does the finger stuff, and
Yes.
so I did it today, and I asked if let's see, will Trump be inaugurated president in 2025? And I got a yes, right? And then I was like, will Kamala be inaugurated in 2025? And I got a yes. So I don't know how that would happen, but I got a yes on both of those, which was kind of weird. And I got a no on would JD Vance be president? Nothing. So
Yeah, he really slipped out of the radar there.
well, he's planning and plotting because he thinks he can get in with Trump, but everything that Trump touches dies. So I don't know if he thinks he's going to get like past that, but I don't think so. I almost felt when I did the finger thing
Yeah.
that he would be inaugurated and then something could happen to him. No, not that anything happens, like nobody does anything to him, just like in something natural maybe. And then in the meantime,
That's what I'm going to ask.
they start to figure out what happened, and I don't know, maybe I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to
That's
me.
okay. I'll ask the hard question. I'll do the finger thing. I'll do the finger thing. Do you have to keep your elbows like parallel?
It's probably a good idea, just so you I don't no, you don't have to keep parallel, I guess.
I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask, is something going to happen to him before the inauguration? Okay. Is something going to happen to Trump before the inauguration?
Yeah,
That was a yes.
yeah.
Something going to happen to him before the inauguration. That's a strong yes. So could be jail. I'm not asking what. I'm not inviting that over. I'm not letting that barge go pass me by. But there'll be some event. And this is where we're going to say, oh my God, I worried so much. I was in such distress. A friend of mine's partner was bawling.
It's
I
very,
don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't, it's going to be okay. Like, he's impeachable already. It's like, here, you're inaugurated. Here's your walking papers. It's going to just like going to turn over. I don't think we have a lot to worry about.
well, even if we do, worrying doesn't help. It honestly does not help. It just brings the energy towards you, and we don't need that. You know, you gotta in your mind's eye. We're very powerful. And anyway, we came down to help. So let's help. Let's focus our intentions for the best, for the best, you know. And maybe the best is a little bit of him and then, Kamala later or whatever. I don't know.
You know
We're
what?
not we don't really know. Just know the best will happen.
We don't really know, but I'll tell you what, everybody who's trying this right now, don't you feel better for some reason?
Yeah.
So whatever that connection is, honestly, it could be your will that wants that so bad, or it could be just the meridians.
Well, it
Like,
works. I mean, there's a whole what do you call it, chiropractic called applied kinesiology, where they do muscle testing. That's how they test
yeah.
what's weak and what's not. It's your body. Your body has the wisdom. Your body is plugged into this grid, into this earthly grid, and we're asking earthly questions. So it's very possible that that's accurate.
Yeah.
I just the thing that I just think about is that everything was going good, and then like at the election, like there was all this like heavy duty like bombardment of pain in like this whole area. A lot of the people were feeling it, a lot of the readers, and then everything like turned around, and we're like, we living in the upside down world here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe maybe it's mass delusion, and our mass delusion was smaller than theirs. But I don't think so. I mean, if if they've cheated for the last 3 or 4 elections, what are the chances they cheated for this one?
That's what I said. Come on, man. He cheated on the first two
But
and he won this one. I'm not buying it. I'm not going to buy that pile of crap.
well, AOC did something interesting. She's in a very heavily Democratic area, and she, of course, won like with 90% of the vote, some ridiculous thing like that. But she did ask her constituents who voted for Trump for president, like they voted her in, but then they voted for Trump. Why? And so she had a conversation with. She says, "I'm not trolling you. I'm not going to give you a hard time. I want to know why." And so she got some information that way, and that's the way we have to like approach it,
Yeah.
because otherwise we keep, we and then you watch these shows and they're like, these are the MAGA people, and they always pick them like dopiest ones or the most dense or it's and they're not all like that. They're like regular people. Like I'm related to some of them. They're regular people with a brain in their head, and you just wonder like, I'd like to know what their primary was, like why him and not her.
Yeah.
Right? What was the line in the sand for you? And then to find out that a lot of those lines are made up
Yeah.
because they were lied to. And they can keep us separate and fighting each other, and then they're laughing all the way home. I don't want to put money in their coffers anymore and give them reasons to abuse us. Sorry, I'd rather get along with my fellow man. But I don't think that's as easy as I'm making it sound.
It's not easy, but it's going to be okay. That I know. I know that for sure. I'm not worried about that. there's too many other things to worry about. And that's not good for you either, right? I think, I don't know why I wrote this down at some point. I might have just woken up from a nap. I wrote down dual citizen to Russia. I thought we might get into that conversation or whatever, but I'm like, this is sort of, we've sort of like fallen into that same place where we have to watch what we post on YouTube. Remember when we had to curb the narrative so that you wouldn't get blocked or thrown off and fall in that category? We started using for entertainment purposes only and all that stuff.
Yeah. I sent Ona a really funny video the other night. We had our first fire, and my husband had a copy of Sean Hannity's one of his books, and not my husband found it. He didn't he didn't own it. He found it, and we put it in the fireplace. And I sent a video to Ona and said, "This is what book banning looks like in Massachusetts."
Oh, I loved it.
Book burning, not book banning, book burn.
But you know what? You don't know. Like, this is, if that can happen, remember when those beepers blew up remotely and then pagers blew up? It's like, if those things can happen, you're being surveilled.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're getting excluded from certain platforms, we can develop a secret language. If you're getting excluded from certain platforms, then you're being controlled.
Well, we might have to figure out a way to continue to speak to our folks, but in a more private setting, because they could come after people, any dissenters, and if you're saying it out loud,
Mm-hmm.
everybody has a skeleton in their closet that's probably online somewhere. Whether it's like a bill you didn't pay or a parking ticket or something,
Cyber hacking and bullying is so prevalent.
And it doesn't even have to be real. They could just make stuff up
They make shit up all the time. I told you about the people were getting texts about you've been chosen to pick cotton on a plantation. It's just like sick shit, right?
Yeah, that's like stupid little boy stuff. That's like
now they've got like this whole LGBTQ community getting these weird text messages, and now they're doing something about it or looking into it. It's like one hack rolls into it, the next one. So just be careful on the narrative. I think we're going to have to watch that a little bit, but always be willing to have my voice shared than silenced. Because you're not going to silence me anyway. Right? You should have heard the no screaming the whole. I'm sure everybody heard me in the neighborhood. The lake made movement that morning. I screamed no so loud.
So you want to just pick? Did we pick cards for next week or just for us?
Just that the next week was going to have a little bit of a shakeup in the political landscape.
Okay, let me. I did the Aphrodite. I feel like we need another one, though. Let me see if I have one around. You don't have an oracle deck close by, do you?
Yeah. Just put this away because this is part of my full moon altar stuff. Starseed Oracle.
Okay.
As we're getting
start with the Mystic Sisters and we end with the Starseeds.
Because Pluto and Aquarius. Right? This one is active. The golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. You see that? So, letting your inner child shine
Yeah.
But in those rare gifts that we all have, if you watch any TikTok or any short video, everybody's gifted in some way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And let that shine.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice antidote to some of the other news.
Well, it's interesting because after the first card we picked, Aphrodite, had a similar, be play. Like if we have to connect with our inner child, we have to do some play. So make sure you play this week, whether it be, with blocks or drawing something or skipping, doing the, what is that, hopscotch? Just don't hurt yourself.
Anything. Yeah. Don't break up.
Don't break it.
Don't break up. And the moon's in Gemini right now. So maybe this is the Gemini moon's little, because it totally looks like that right now. The
Portal, yep.
little message for let your fun play. Let that be the thing that kind of breaks a negative pattern.
Yeah.
All right. It's 7:06 Central Time. I think is a good time to wrap it up. What do you think, Vicky?
Yeah, I have my husband. I said to him, I got to eat before I get on. And he's like, okay. And then he's creating in the kitchen. And I'm like, Michael, I got to get on. He's like, oh, okay, I'll make you something.
Yeah.
And so he gave me dessert first.
Nice.
He made a pumpkin creme brulee. Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
Oh my God.
I was eating it warm. It was still steaming. It was so delicious. It was, anyway, and that's what I had. So now I have to actually eat dinner because all I had was dessert. But we always say, Michael and I have a saying, there could be an asteroid, so we should eat dessert first.
It's Saturday night. No judge here. Okay. No judging. If you want just dessert for dinner, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tomorrow morning will be Time Out with Giblets, and we'll see what he has to say about his week ahead.
Yeah. And the week ahead in astrology will come out tomorrow on my channel. You can check that out. Otherwise, the next time we're together will be, I think, Mystic Sisters again, right? Because we don't, and then the next week is the new moon, right? And then Mystic Sisters. So we're around, guys. You should be able to find us easy enough. Yes. Take care, everyone. Much love.
Thank you. And we'll see you in the morning. And if you want to see a picture of the full moon, look on my community page. I was able to capture her last night, and it was really, really cool. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope this full moon brings you everything you asked for when you stared up at it last night.
Yeah.
Love ya.
Take care, everyone.